Guys, Stephanie here with createfromtheheart.weebly.com, and today is day 14 of the National Craft Month video series, and today I am showing you how to use repurposed material with plastic or aluminum foil or whatever it is to make something beautiful. So I'll go ahead and get my supplies together here, and then I'll be right back to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so here I've got a scrap piece of cardstock, and it's a normal card size. You start off with 8.5 by 11, but this one right here is 8 inches by 11. So I'm going to use it to make a card. And if you've been watching my video series, the painting that we done of the tree, and I showed you of using the plastic to make little palettes for your paint. This right here is a plastic that came out of the Tim Holtz mini paper clips, and we used them for palettes. Well, because they've dried now, they're sparkly and stuff, and they're raised here, we're going to be using this. So right here, if you can see, I had used the purple, and I went ahead with my hole punch and punched out a 1-inch circle, so that's where the paint's on it now, and that way we'll use a temple to make the rest. So you'll need for this project, you'll need a 1-inch hole punch, some kind of epoxy things, and another thing I want to say too is if you don't keep your packaging, let me make sure up fast before I tell you wrong. I don't want to tell you wrong or nothing, but see here, give me 1 second to make sure. I'm pretty sure that they did. Yeah, right here. Stampin' Up! In the catalog of the see here, the June 2014, their June 2015 catalog. On page 200, right here, they have these they're called Circle Treat Cups, and they're $2.95, and they're basically the same thing, but they're raised higher than this right here that we're using is, but they would work probably the same way. So if you don't keep your packages, you want to buy something to actually use to make it, you can do that. So what we're going to do is there you go. I'm going to get out my Martha Stewart mini scoreboard, and to score out, because you start out with 8.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to score at 5.5 vertically, so that I can cut it off to make my card. And if you want to, you can just leave it like up there if you really want to, and make it a big card, but we're not going to do that. So I'm going to use my trimmer to cut down to the proper size. And then, baby, well, you got your pop right there. Oh, your cut. There you go. And then now you're going to score and fold at 4 1/4. So I'm scoring right now, and then you're going to fold it, and then where it has this little piece here left over, I'm going to trim that off because I'm not using that this time. Okay, so now I'm going to use my hole punch and to punch up the holes to set these here in. Oh, take a hold of my card. I want one there and one there. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my scissors and cut out these. I'm not using this one. I am just using the two glittery ones we made. And you're going to want to leave an edge. So don't cut it completely exactly around the circle. You're going to want to leave an edge. So kind of like here, if you can see. You're going to want to leave an edge so that the paper, so now whenever you put it under here, it will fit perfectly and it won't push through. So let me go ahead and cut the other one off. So I'm just cutting this other one here out real fast. Okay, so now I have the other one cut out. My hole punch just wouldn't fit that through it, so that's the reason why. So now I've got this little piece here. I'm going to cut off this excess piece here because this hole right here we cut out, I'm using it for a stencil to match the 1 inch around. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we're going to adhere this to what? I'm going to be using my Aleene's Tacky Original Tacky Glue. If I could just get it to come out. I always have trouble getting this to come out. Okay. Then once it comes out, you're going to put it around the edge of the flap. Not on the bottom of it, because it's not going to be stuck to the bottom of it. It's going to be stuck to the front part of the back of the page. So you're going to put it around the edge that we made. So I'm not putting a whole lot on there, just enough to adhere it. I'm going to put the white one down here. And you might need to take a Q-tip and oh my goodness, I'm having so much trouble with that. Okay. Alright, you might need to take a Q-tip and to wipe off the excess that comes through it. But just make sure you also can take that Q-tip as well and push around the edge so it's actually getting in there. I'm going to use my tweezers. Q-tips is sticking. And I'm just making sure that it's pushed in there. Okay, so there's that one. And now we're going to go ahead with the purple one and do the same thing with it. And once again, my glue's gone back down. One reason why I like using tacky glue is because it dries clear. It comes out white, but it dries clear. So I really like that about it. And now to push it through here. And my glue kind of comes through on the other page here, so good thing we're covering the inside though, because I don't want to see this on the inside. So I'm just going to be using my tweezers again to re-push this down while that's still wet. Taking my Q-tip to get off this excess. And then using my tweezers again to push around the edge again. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to show you how we're going to use the homemade stencil to finish up the card. Clean up my mess here. Okay. Dry, let it dry. Okay. So now we got our little stencil that we've cut out there, as you can see. And we're going to have our palette. Okay, so now I have here a brand new palette that I bought today, because my other palettes are getting pretty in bad shape. So, okay. No. This here is the paint we'll be using, and it's the Folk Art Extreme Glitter paint, and this is the purple one, and this one here is called Hologram, and this one's just called Purple. Yeah, so we're going to be using it. Make sure you shake it up, and I'm going to be putting a spot in here. Now when it comes out of the bottle, it's funny, but when it comes out of the bottle, it looks like this. It looks like white, and it looks like a light pink. But when it dries, it looks like that and that. So, I love these kind of paints. I'm going to try to get some more of them. So here I'm going to use the Martha Stewart stencil brush. I'm using the half. These come in a set of 3, the ones that I got, and they come in 5/8 inch, and they come in 3/8 of an inch, and they come in a 1/2 inch. So I'm using the half one because it'll let me cover around it pretty good. So, and I'm going to leave a space here in the middle for my sentiment, but I'm just going to put my stencil down where I want it. I don't want it even, I want it uneven, and then I'm just going to apply my paint. I'm just using my stencil brush and dabbing it on there, all over where I like for it to go. Then once I get it off, I will use a wipe to wipe off the stencil so it won't transfer to the other circle that I'm doing, as well as use it to get off my brush as well. Now I'll be doing some of the purple one. Doing some of the purple one over here. And that one up there kind of got off a little bit, so I'm going to use a bigger wipe here so I can clean this up some here. Yay, perfect. It did, cleans it up. And I'm going to get over here on this side. Alright, yes. So now I'm just going to wipe off the excess off the stencil. And off my brush as well. And clean that off my palette now. Okay, but I'm not done with the paint, so don't dispose of it. So while I'm letting this all dry, I'm going to go ahead and get my background ready. It's 3/4, 5 3/4. Okay. Oh, jot my measurements down here so I can remember. Alright, 3 3/4 by 5. And what did I say it was? I already forgot that one. Okay, so I'm going to use I'm sorry I'm off camera. I'm just trying to decide what to do, what to use. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the Coordinations 12 by 12 paper. I'm going to be doing a mat for the inside of the card. So I'm going to set this aside to let it be drying. And so I'm making my mat 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And you'll be needing 2 of these, one for both sides of the paper. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. And then I'm lining it up. And I'm going to cut it all the way down because that way I can make 2 of these out of this. And I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so stay up there. And there's my 2 mat stacks. So this one right here for the back. We're going to do here too. Not decorate it, just put it on using the back. Alright, so I'm going to use my EK Success indent corner chopper. Like it is not a corner rounder. It chops out the corner, and I'm going to do that for both of these. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so now I've got both those papers there, corner chopped and ready to go. And now I'm going to bring out, I'm going to put these paints away and bring out my Studio G alphabet stamps. I'll go ahead and get my sentiments out, and then I'll be right back when I'm ready. Okay, so I've got my stamps ready, and I'm going to be using the light purple stamp. And before I do it, I have my other word for the front of the card here, but where it's still drying, I won't be doing that right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this one. And let's see here. Why? with me working with this project, I've got, if you watch the room tour and stuff of mine, I've got quite a bit of all the colors of the coordination stack, and I have found that a lot of my Studio G ink pads have goes hand in hand with them, so with the card stock. So like right now, this light or dark purple paper I'm using, but I'm using a light purple ink, and it just matches it so well. So I've really found that these two colors go, and I've also got like the dark purple here that I've got, it goes with the light purple of the cardstock really good, which I guess, you know, that could be because of the fact of, you know, purples the same color, but I just think that I just really like how it comes today. So my little saying is, you make my day shine. And I really love that little saying, so I'm using it. Whoa. Okay. Alright, so there's that one done there. That part of it. Of course, I'm not done. But now I'm going to be taking my Ranger blendable, and I'm going to take the same ink pad, and I'm going to be inking the edges. So and you can see this ink is really vibrant color. I love this color, but it's really, really vibrant. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and take my wipe and clean this here up. As well as I'm going to take my finger here and clean up. So I'm going to clean this right here up just a little bit. Okay, so now that that's cleaned up, let's see if my paint here is about dried. It's getting close. Not quite done, but close. Okay, so because I use that light purple of there, I'm going to go ahead now and get my a piece of the light purple cardstock that I was talking about just a second ago, how it goes in hand with the dark purple, and it's this one right here by Coordinations. You can't much see it. Let me see if I can turn the camera here for a second so you can see better. So it's like a really light purple, and it matches this here so well. See how it matches that so well? And so that's just why I love using those. So I'm just going to my other cardstock that I have not used yet, I'm going to take it and I'm going to mark it out here around the, I'm just tracing it around this basically. I'm using the texture side up because I don't want the textured part to be showing. I want the smooth part down, or the textured part down. So that's why I'm using the texture side up. And now I'm just going to cut this out. But I'm cutting them a little in as well as I'm cutting them a little, yeah, I'm cutting them in a little bit more on both sides. Just simply because I want it to match the dark purple. So, sure it's cut straight. So I'm going to look at it here and see how well it's matte to see if I want it smaller. I want it a lot smaller than that because I want it to matte the purple. I'm just cutting it more straighter. Okay, I feel comfortable with that. Yes, beautiful. So now I'm going to use my same corner puncher and punch the corners again. And now I'm going to get out the dark purple ink pad, and I'll be inking the edges of it, but not like I done with the first one. The first one I wanted it to be more of a smeary look, but this one right here I don't want to do that with this one. So I'm just going ahead and opening up my ink blending tool package here. I've been meaning to put on some more of these. I've got to put them on my thing, so. Okay, so. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I'm picking it up and I'm putting it on the paper edge. Then I'm going to kind of go in just a little bit in the corners, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Okay, so now, because this is a new phone, that's how I store my ink pad. I might make a video after this one here showing you how I store those. Okay, so I'm going to now get my tape runner back out and begin to adhere my paper to my purple paper. So it looks like that. Wrong eraser. Okay. Okay, so I went to my heat tool and to finish drying it and stuff. It's still not completely dried, but it's pretty well. But as you can see here, it's not as vibrant, the ones we made, as the ones that's in the plastic epoxy, because there's more paint in there, and that's why I've done it that way. So it, you know, gives it different effects. So I'm gonna go ahead now and adhere the paper to this here. And I'm just, this one here is going to be hard to do. I'm just slowly and easily applying adhesive around the edges of the inside of the card. And it's a little difficult of working around those little pocket things, but it's not as bad as you think it is. So. I'm just pushing down the edges, make sure it's completely covered. And now I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I'm trying to do it evenly, and it did. So like you see there how that's, the circle looks like it's connected. So now what I'm going to do, now that I have it like this, is the one we made before for the back. I'm going to mark where I won't hit. It's pretty long, enough to fit the way I want it to be fitted. I'm just going to go ahead and mark my page to where it be cut off at. And actually needs to be cut off a little bit more, a little bit sooner than that. Okay. So I'm going to take my same corner puncher and do the same thing for this one. Okay. And I'm not going to use no ink to ink this side, the edges of this one paper here up here. I'm just simply going to adhere it to the back. And then, remember how I told you we wasn't done with the paint, so didn't keep that in mind. But I am now going to take my light purple, and I'm going to go in the inside, go in the, I'm opening it up, do it that way. And I'm going to go in a little bit deeper, but I don't want to touch the spots we painted. So I'm just going in more like almost like a paint, a really thick bordered paint, and kind of tilt it sideways here to kind of get in this one. So I don't really want it on this page, but there we go. Now that we have that, I want to take the dark purple and go over just the outer edges. That's all I want to do with this dark purple. So, doing like this. And if you want to make it a little bit deeper, you could scrape the edges and it scrapes it to make it a little bit more deeper. Depends on how you want it to look. I'm trying to get the corners to show a little bit better with that color. Okay, so we are now done with that. White, and clean up this mess again. And clean off my fingers, this ink off my fingers. Okay, so now okay, so now the front here looks a little messed up here, so I'm going to try to see if I can take some of that there off. Got some of the ink on to it there. And that's one of the reasons why I like this kind of ink too, because you can kind of manipulate it just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit, to where you can kind of tame it down, or whatever you feel like you need to do with it, you can kind of manipulate it. So okay, so I feel like that's pretty good. Okay, so now it's time to do the front of the ink pad, and I'm going to be using the purple, dark purple, and it's going to say sparkle. I'm using different size letters. I'm using a lowercase, uppercase, whatever it is. And I need my E. And then somewhere around here I have a apostrophe mark. Okay. So there you go. And that's what it's going to look like with that part there. Now you're going to need your paint part here back out, as well as a really thin brush. I'm going to be using a 3H slanted brush. And here in the crease, I'm taking the purple glittery, not only between the two papers, not where the yellow part's showing. Only between the two papers, I'm putting a line of sparkle, kind of making your own bookmark. And then I'll be taking the white one and kind of making like little stars on that light purple one that we done. So kind of like making little sparkling stars, not a whole lot, just, you know, little stars to sparkle. Making some big ones as well as some little ones.